Hi, this is a look at a SEGA Master System that I picked up the other day, and it's pretty dusty and dirty. I think it's been in someone's shed. It's the model number and everything. It's quite old. It's from the, I think it's late 80s, something like that. The RF socket, output socket, is broken off, so I'm going to have to do something about that before I can get it to work. It's got the power pack with it, 9 volts, kind of crappy thing to switch the aerial from the computer to your TV, bit rusty, not too bad, doesn't feel particularly fantastic. I doubt it was in the first place. So the 2 controllers, just sort of tiny, very lightweight, tiny little things compared to sort of the modern, well, even the newer SEGA ones than this. Not, and sort of square corners, yeah. Yeah. Came with a crappy piece of coax cable with nothing on the end of it. Another controller. This game, Shinobi, I don't know. 2 of them. And why they've got 2 copies. And look what they paid second hand for it. £23.25. No instructions. I don't know what date that was, but they bought that. Doesn't want to open. Yeah. It's expensive because it doesn't want to open? I don't know. Yeah, there's no instructions. I can't get the box open. Okay. Yeah. That's what cartridge is like. Circuit board, pin, and the pins on the edge of these boards can get, the tracks can get dirty, so sometimes you have to clean them so that the games will work. And there's some pain in the ass screw to get them open as well. That also doesn't have the book, and the cartridge flies out. Yeah, so there's 2 copies of that. Altered Beast. Pictures that may represent the game, I don't know. And all these other ones in a sort of plain, sort of squared paper finish. It's very different to the sort of newer games. Sonic 2. Golden Axe. Double Dragon. Rastan? I don't know. Transbot. Exciting packaging. Paperboy. There you go. I don't really remember these. Anyway. That cost $10.50. The Ninja. Cyber Shinobi, whatever that is. No idea how you pronounce that. One without a box. Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. Tato, Chase HQ. Have the book. None of them have seen, not many of them seem to have the book. Black Belt Mega Cartridge. Again, highly exciting packaging. has the book. How to plug it in, and how to have one of these card things that I've not got or never seen in real life. Yeah, none of these colour things that you get these days. And the different languages, what the controls do. I'm sure this won't focus because it's crap. And yeah, maybe we'll have a look at these later. Don't hit it with a hammer. Don't put poisonous chemicals on it. Set fire to it, put it in the sun, bend it, pour water on it. I don't know what that's meant to mean. Oh, that's the card, that's the cartridge. Yeah. Don't put a knife in it somehow. Okay. Well, we'll have a look at trying to get this to work next. See if it's any good. But yeah, first we have to deal with this RF socket because I don't have the plug to fit the AV out. So I have to get this fixed. Right. So I've taken all the screws out. The 6 screws. A little cover here. An expansion thing, and cut this plastic out. But that doesn't really matter. But so let's see if it comes apart. Yep. Inside the lid. See where the buttons come through here. And push these on here. It's quite corroded looking. Doesn't look great. No. To be honest. It'll probably still work, but I have to clean. Well, that's not used. It doesn't matter if that's dirty. It's just dust and shit in there. Bit rusty on that tuner can. And that's what we need to fix when we put a socket on there. And it should be, it's a phono socket, this kind of thing. So whether I can sort of get this off here and solder it on there, or just put in a case mount one, I don't know. This shield's in the way, so this board's going to come out. Doesn't have to be undone? No. Probably. That out. Yeah, I took the other screws out so there wasn't this sort of boring screw undoing going on, but you'll just have to put up with it. SEGA Power Base, POW, VA3, whatever that means. That's your controller ports here as well. Sony IC, a SEGA IC, NEC stuff. Is this going to come out? Not yet. Let's take those out just in case. Yeah, I mean it's slightly corroded in here, but full of shite. Is it going to lift out? That's got to come out, is it? And that. Hundreds and hundreds of screws. One LED on light, despite the panel with its sort of diagram. Very 80s sort of. You know, this goes in here, comes out here, does this, goes on your TV. If that's a, is that a flow chart? I don't know. I'm sure there's a name for it. It's probably not a flow chart. I don't know what it is. Right. Are you gonna No, that's screwed through. Because that's the thing that's going to have the most leverage on it, pulling the card in and out, pulling the cartridge in and out. So, 3 minutes of undoing screws. Highly entertaining. It's out. There you go. There's the underside. There's the top side. IC there with pins are laid out differently. Should run one's longer than one's shorter. If you can see that, I don't know. We need to get in here, so I need to get this heatsink off. Yeah, let's get rid of that. We can have another 3 minutes of undoing screws. Shouldn't be that many screws. There's a voltage regulator or something attached to this. Transistor there, yeah, 7805 voltage regulator. So undo that. From there, heatsink's off. There's no insulating washer or anything. That's the tuner. 3 connections on it. Audio, video, positive, presumably. So perhaps trace them to this socket to find out how that's wired. Or maybe not. Maybe just look it up online. Right, let's try and get the lid off this without destroying it. At least they haven't soldered it on. Sometimes the lids are soldered on. I'll probably find it is soldered on in a minute. Right. It's pulled the pin through the printed circuit board there. I'm sure it's not going to focus because it never fucking focuses. So that's where it should be connected. And yeah, I think I'm going to have to take the whole thing off the board and turn it the other way up. So that could be interesting. Okay, so I'm just desoldering the tuner can off the board. Just sucking solder off the pins. Let's see if I can get it off the board. So we can repair the socket. But how easily it's going to come off, I don't know. It shouldn't be too bad, but it's never easy getting things with so many pins off of the board. Come on, just that one, there we go. There's the underside of the tuner can. That's where the broken socket is. I might be able to put this case mount one in, I don't know, kind of fits. Get this can off, get this lid off that can. That's the board with it removed. There's options for 2 different size ones. That's the one this uses, and there's option there for a larger one. I'm gonna come off. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry if you can't see much of this. It's quite hard to do it with a camera that refuses to focus once you start filming anything, which is a really good feature. If you start recording video, the autofocus stops doing anything, and that's part of it. It's mentioned in the instructions. Makes no sense to me at all, but there you go. Right, the lid's off, or loose anyway. So that's where it connected. That little hole. That's what I want to put in there, but I think it might be too big. And the pin's gonna hit that adjustment thing, whatever it is, variable capacitance thing, or whatever it is. Yeah, that's just too big. Maybe if I spaced it out on some washers, then it's really sticking out. Just think about trying to remove this from here and put that in there. I think I'm going to have to think about it. So what I'm thinking of doing is using this socket. I trimmed the back thread down a bit. It's still too long in there, so I'm going to trim this shorter and trim this plastic back and see how that goes, and then see if I can fit it then. I'm just going to trim the plastic back as far as I dare. Just carefully try and do it without wrecking the thing. Not too much anyway. Score it and cut it. I hope it just splits off where I want it to. There's metal under it. Yeah, I'm making a mess of this thing. You probably can't see any of it anyway. Yeah, it's about 4mm, 5mm too long, hitting the can. We just trim that off. As long as I stick the wire on the outside of it, I'll just cut this off. Yeah, just hack the end off it with some side cutters, be fine. There's so many little things in here just to touch, which is the problem. That little coil on this can, on this thing. It looks okay. Right. I'm going to try and solder that on. Need a little bit of wire to find something in it. Right, so I'll just try and show you what I've done here to repair this RF tuner can. I've taken one of these case mount sockets, phono sockets, which normally you'd use this nut and bolt on, and I've cut the back thread off shorter, cut this thread down short, cut this pin shorter, as you can see in here, and then soldered it to the, see that's shorter than that now, soldered it to the outside of the can there. You have to scrape this sort of shiny coating off first so it'll actually solder, get down to the brass, and put a little wire from the actual pin, sneaks it through a hole in the board and connected it to where the original pin connected. So the next thing to do is put this back together and see if it works. Whichever way that goes. I don't know. I'll find out that way. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if it still works. It's quite old. The board on it, well, you can't actually see the date on the board. It's all sort of smudged. It's 80 something. A lot of the chips are 88, 89 on them. So it must be kind of the date that it was made. So yeah. Okay, so tuner's pushed through the board. I'm just gonna solder it back in again, and then we can put it back together and see if it works. Which, who knows, really? Probably something else wrong with it. But there you go. Not wasting my thin, more expensive solder on these big joints. And this things like that breaking is like quite a common fault with these old sort of computers. Any socket on the back, it's always worth checking the solder joints on them, because they just crack away with use. Don't think that's probably never been used. Just no one ever had the lead for that, but anyway. Right, that's soldered on, okay. Let's put it back together. If I can remember where all the screws go. I think the black ones held the cartridge socket down, I think. I need to put the heatsink on first. Yeah, that's what needs to happen next. Let's do that. Trouble is, it may be one video, but there's been several days in between things happening, so it's quite hard to remember where the hell everything goes and what screw went where and where the hell everything is and all that type of thing. I put all the screws in a pot in here, but yeah, come back to it a week later and find you've lost half the bits. But hopefully I haven't. And yeah, it's just going to be boring screws going in, so yeah. Regulator back on its heatsink, the M3 screw, and a locking washer. The heatsink paste still there, so don't think I'll bother replacing that. Should do the job. Right, now we can go back onto here. Okay, all the screws are now back in. Next thing is to test it. I'm not going to bother putting the lid on yet in case it doesn't work. Okay, it's all plugged in. The TV's on. and let's see what happens. Oh, something. I don't know if it's tuned into the right channel. Green light's on. Ah, no. Channel 8. There we go. And the sound works. Oh, that must be a built-in game. I'm not playing it. Must be the demo. Yeah, it's gonna flicker horribly. Maybe I have to get a LCD monitor out. Let's try it with a cartridge. Well, let's try this. Ooh, I don't know. Let's find somewhere to stand the camera. Where you can maybe see the screen? Maybe? Yeah. Might have to sort a better setup for this. There you go. Don't fall off. 1, start. What do we do? Accelerate? Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know what buttons to press. I have no idea what fucking buttons do. I died or crashed into someone. I don't know how you, am I in for, do you change gear? Oh, let's stop and go. Yeah, it's easy to crash into other people. Yeah, There's no leaning. What do we do, hug the inside? I don't know. Yeah, let's try it with a cartridge. I'll put this one in, whatever this is. Another kind of racing game. Try that. Is it gonna work? The green light hasn't come back on. That's bad. No, let's kill it. Well, that sucks. Yeah, just put the cartridge in, presumably the right way. With it turned off, turn it on, and now it's dead. So that's just great. To find what's wrong with this. Actually, all I just did was just wobble this power plug. I think that's dodgy, and that's what's caused it. It's pretty dirty, a bit knackered. Looks soldered on okay on the bottom. So we've got power again. Right, let's put the cartridge in. Now try it. That's more like it. Although, is that not the game that's built in, not the one I plugged in? Yeah. So that's the cartridge door. Let's put it in again. Take it in and out a few times. Power up again. No, what's on there? Pause, reset. There's a reset there. Nothing. Resets it. Try a different cartridge, I suppose. So I've got it to work now. I think I was just pushing the cartridge too far onto the board, too far down, and actually bashing that little resistor. So I think I'll put the lid back on. It's working now, and then try a few of the games. So the lid's back on. Let's try a cartridge, different one. That's the first one I tried. We'll try that again. Pushed in. On. See what we get. I think that's that first game. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't like that one. Try again. Nope. Let's try not pushing it all the way in then. That seemed to work before. With the other game. What's it gonna do? No. Let's put the other game back in. See if that still works. I suppose they're all dirty because they've been in damp conditions out in someone's shed or something. So, yeah, that's the built-in game again. So that's no good. We'll plug it in and out a few times. See what that does. Power up again. Why? Stop being annoying. What I have to do is try and... Oh, this one you can unscrew. You actually unscrew it and... So the trick always used to be with these. Undo them, if you can get the damn things undone. If you haven't got security screws. Get just a pencil eraser, rubber, whatever you call it. Just rub the connections like this. Just clean the shit off them. And any more bits of rubber. Make sure it hasn't left a coating. Just wipe it with a tissue. As you can see, there's not a lot in these. Put it back. Remember which way it was. That way, I think. Don't really remember, but it fits that way. Then we'll screw it back together, and then we'll it's working now.